Hello everyone and welcome back to another Moon's Magical build. I'm aware that last time I did these big blocks things, but I had a lot of fun doing them and I found they were a bit easier to do than some other projects. And as final weeks is quickly approaching school, I figured it'd be fun to do another version. Also, while doing these, I realized there was one type of block set that I really wanted to do because I thought they'd look cool. And that's the porcelain or hardened glazed terracotta, as they are called in any normal language. But I want to do all the different porcelain types. I think it's going to be a bunch of fun. That's 16 blocks, so that's 6 more than I did here. So you're going to get a bit longer of a time lapse, which I hope you guys are cool with. And yeah, I guess seeing as we have so many to get through, we should just hop right into it. I'll see you when I'm done. So I did try to finish them all, but I'm running out of time to get this video out, and I only managed to get through half of them, sadly. That just means that this is going to be a two-parter, and next week I'm going to show you the last 8 of them, and this week I'll just gonna show you the first 8 of the colors. So we start off with white, which I think is probably one of the more closest, just because these colors were really easy to get. It was pretty basic. It's just like the grays and the blues and the yellow and the orange. And I've noticed that there are 2 types of terracotta. There's one like this one, where it kind of wraps around the edge, like you can see like this is the same, and then this corner's the same, and then the difference comes kind of on this corner. So for those type, I did it like this, where I have these corners being the same, and you can see some of them, this wall will not quite match up with like this one, which is the full wall and stuff. You can kind of see where it's not fully done. So this wall's the full correct one, and this wall is, and then these 2 are the replicas, but with like the corners not being quite right on either side. So that's how I decided to do this type, and in a bit I'll show you the other type and how I chose to do those. So this is another replica that was pretty easy to do. There aren't many orange shades, but thankfully the red terracotta and like, yeah, that's the orange. The red terracotta kind of match this darker one. So it's not quite as bright and vibrant as I would have liked, but at least it looks good. And also for some reason on the top, this is supposed to be blue, but if I made it blue, it would have messed up with this version. So pretend this is blue, but I couldn't do it because it'd mess up the front space. Yeah, so that's a thing. The top doesn't quite match the actual block as much as I'd like to, but otherwise I think it turned out pretty well. Up next we have I think it's magenta, yeah, it's magenta, which is just the arrow ones, which I realize it looks nothing like it. It looks so squashed, but it's not. This is the exact same dimension of that. Like this is right. This is how it's supposed to look, but it looks so smushed together for some reason, and I'm not completely sure why. It just does, and it doesn't. Or it could be that the color's slightly different. Like there is none of this like middle color, which use that, so I had to do weird pink shades, and the colors are really off on this one. Like this is probably the least accurate, despite seeming to be the most simple to replicate. We just don't have the colors. And also this is an example of those the second type of terracotta I was talking about, in which the edges are completely different for every single corner, in which case I brought it all out by one, just so we could see the full design properly. So since all the edges are different, it's out by one, and you can see that all the arrows are pointing in the proper direction. Up next is another one that, like that one, every single side is completely different, which is the light blue. Yeah, I believe this is the light blue one, which is it's weird. The light blue one, I didn't realize how weird it actually is until I actually made it. Just all the different sides and stuff, but I think I nailed this one. Again, this is another one which the colors were easy to find, and it looks pretty good to me. It's very weird. It's also, I really wish I didn't have to do like the stick out, because this looks better definitely when they're all like merged together, but didn't really have much of a choice because this one uses the white for shading, so it makes like blocks look lighter and have weird lighting effects when you use them in bigger builds. It's a really cool effect, but it made replicating the block in giant form extra hard. We then go back to some more of the ones having like similar corners, with the yellow one, which was pretty good. I think it's pretty close. The brown could be a bit lighter, but I don't really have that color. But this one was actually really fun to do and a lot easier, just because the flower pattern was really simple to catch on to, and once I did, I could like build all the sides pretty quickly, and it looks really good to my opinion. Here's another one I think got pretty accurate, which is the lily pad one, I like to call it, or also known as lime green. This one, the colors, I wish I had a lighter yellow. The one I struggled most is this one. I couldn't use the white because I already had like the white earthen block being used already. So I wasn't quite sure what to use for the green, so I kind of just I used lime green terracotta and it's not right, and I know it's not right, and it would look so much better if I had like a lighter green to use, but the Lincoln block kind of works and stuff, so you can still tell that's the lime green terracotta, just not as close. Now this one's my favorite, like this in general, like I love the pink one. It's always been one of my favorites, and I love the giant version of it. I think it turned out so good, and it looks so pretty, and it looks a lot like this one. I was surprised how well that this light gray cement concrete worked with it. I was worried that it wouldn't be light enough, but honestly, you can barely tell the difference. Yeah, it's a bit lighter on the actual block, but it's not too bad, and I'm really pleased with how this one turned out. And including the top and the bottom. The top's a bit off, like this corner's a bit off, but otherwise it turned out really well. And then this one's fun. This is the light gray, or gray, this is the normal gray, my bad. I haven't done the light gray one yet. This is the gray one, and it's just a really funky design. And I was torn between using like the white terracotta and white cement. I tried the white terracotta, didn't like it, so I ended up going with the white cement, and I think that was the right call. The weirdest block choice I think is using the cyan. I think this is terracotta, but for one of the blocks, but I think it works. It's not quite right. You could tell something's off looking at it, but overall it turned out pretty well using that. I have no regrets. I think it was the best choice of the options I had. And I like the pattern for this one. It's really weird and funky, but it's kind of fun. So, and yeah, I didn't realize for this one that every side was different, but it is. Every side for this one is completely different. So I had to do the stick out version. And those are the 8 I managed to get done. We still have about 8 more to go. So if I look into porcelain, we have this next row, like black, the red, the green, the brown, the blue, the purple, light gray, and cyan. But yeah, that's this one, and next week we'll do the other 8, and I will see you there. And yeah, I hope you have a beautiful and blessed day, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. Bye!